Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Life After Sunday, the midweek mic. This is episode 25, and we're going to talk about intimacy with God today.
Last time we talked about intimacy, that got a little weird.
Different intimacy.
It's a different
This one's
intimacy.
different.
It's intimacy as growing closer in understanding of God, and through that, it transforms our life.
Yeah.
That's the kind of intimacy we're talking about today. In James 4, it says, draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. So he's inviting us to come near to him. And it's not an act that's accidental, it's intentional. It's as we seek him. So in the sermon, we talked about the different levels of intimacy.
Yeah.
Do you remember what they were?
I have them written in my phone, but it starts as, do you want me to start?
No, I'm just
Starts
saying.
as an acquaintance.
So we have the acquaintance, and then we'll talk about the friendship level and family, and then
Like spousal intimacy, close relationship.
close relationship. Yeah. That's good.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So yeah,
you.
start with acquaintance.
So, like knowing of someone, not a deep level, you don't know really their character or much about them, just you smile at them in the hallway.
Yes. And there's nothing wrong with the acquaintance level of relationship. It's staying in any of
Right,
these
that's where you
levels.
start
Yeah.
anything.
Any relationship, I'm going to start as I just know of God.
Right.
I know the stories and I know the Bible, and I might show up once in a while on a Sunday. And I think that's where everybody starts, is
So it's
just
kind
a
of
surface level.
Yeah.
We do things for Jesus, but do we actually know him? And that's where the friendship level is. And it's or the acquaintance level. And so not much to say in that, do we?
Yeah, that's just where you start. But if you feel like that's where you are, there's room to grow.
Yeah.
So don't be discouraged.
Yeah, and don't feel shameful if you're like, oh
Yeah,
wow,
right.
I'm just at this level.
Because it's a journey that never ends. So we're all somewhere on the path.
It's a journey that never ends.
Is that a song?
No.
Oh, the song that never ends. I'm usually the singer here.
So then, yeah, that leads us into level 2, which would be friendship.
Yeah.
Knowing God personally. And if you think of this as any normal relationship, you're thinking of it becomes personal. You start having honest conversations with people. You're talking more about personal things instead of the weather or what game was on or how are they doing at work.
So it's a little deeper.
Yeah, so this is where our conversations with God go a little bit more deeper. We see in the Bible that he refers to people as friends.
Yeah.
And with Moses, he talked to him face to face as a friend would. So we have that relationship with him. We communicate with him regularly. We can trust him. So that's where we find our friendships with God. And again, it's sweet to be a friend of God. It's awesome to have this as be your friend.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome because you then have this distant deity that you would think, but then he comes closer.
Right.
Because you're drawing nearer. So when you were from acquaintance to friend, like what do you notice when you say God's my friend? Like how did your prayer life change? How did you?
Yeah, I think you talk to him differently. So you're not maybe so formal. You're more willing to share what is real and what is true and what is maybe hurtful. Maybe you want to spend more time with him because he feels like a friend instead of just somebody distant. So you're talking more and spending more time, more of a priority maybe.
Yeah. It's like you have somebody to turn to. You don't feel alone. I know in my prayer life, it would be more of, instead of, I guess the surface level would be like God as a genie being like, oh, I need this to happen. I need that to happen. But as a friendship, you're like, God, I'm going through this situation right now. Or please show me where you're at in this situation. Things like that. Even your Bible reading, I think it goes into more of just from a knowledge base, or maybe not even reading the Bible as much, to start discovering the Bible and reading to know God.
Yeah. And I think just getting an understanding that he does love you and he's there for you. So that's comforting.
Yeah. And then God doesn't stop just with friendship. He invites you to become family.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of us having gone into a family and having a father figure in the spiritual sense. It's something that is comforting.
Yeah.
It's security, I think.
And Renee did talk about how sometimes our view of our earthly father can warp the way we see God as father. If you had a bad experience with your earthly father, maybe he was distant, maybe he was not loving, maybe his love was conditional. No, then sometimes it is hard to grasp fully God's love for you as a father.
Yeah. But I think when you work through this, because I would say each one of these sometimes takes a little bit of a breakthrough.
Yeah. So yeah, when
And
you're
I think
pressing into that,
while you're pressing into it, you're starting to shape who he is.
And it's probably healing things that maybe felt like you were lacking before.
Exactly. So in Psalm 103, verse 7, it says, He made known his ways to Moses, his acts to the people of Israel. So Israel saw the miracles, but Moses understood God's heart. And it's because God made it known his ways. And I think when you're in the family, you're family with him, you're seeking him as a father, you know his ways, you know his patterns, you know his responses will be. I think of you think of your father or your mother or somebody in your family. I know how somebody's going to react. Sure. I know because I have a past with them. And I think that's this relationship, this intimacy takes time. And so when we're with God daily, we start understanding why he does what he does. And we start seeking things that in the Bible, we start seeking like his character, we start seeking his heart.
Yeah.
And we start trying to understand who he is and how I can please him.
Yeah, probably watching more to see like how he's moving and then being more involved in that, obedient in that, because you recognize it more easily because you know him.
Yeah. You know? Like the correction, you recognize the correction, you recognize that he's a comforter and that when he does the correction, it's to protect and it's to grow your heart.
Yeah.
I think the family is like, it's really transformative for people. And I would even say, like, you can look across, like, when we're talking about having time with him, you can look across your life and you can see him move.
Yeah.
And so, what are some things that you noticed of God and, like, his pattern in your life as a father?
I think he's been great to place, I think, a lot of, like, good, loving people around me. So just caring, I think, about my heart. I've just seen his goodness all over everything.
Yeah.
Especially when my dad died, like that whole thing it was almost like just beautiful the way we were taken care of.
Yeah.
And that was in my life the most significant feeling of God is good and God is faithful. Look what he's doing in the midst of tragedy.
And it's nice to know that like he cares about your heart.
Yeah.
So when you look past at all the struggles that you go through in your life, you realize that he was there protecting your heart. And I would have to say, like, just realizing how faithful he is to me. Even in times where I'm not the most faithful or I'm not the most obedient, he was still faithful.
Yeah.
And just recently, I think, like, recognizing him as a father is just been going through some things and speaking to him so honestly, so raw, with, like, emotion, I think has been very helpful. And just understand, like, just the peace that overcomes when you actually talk to him and you don't make it like a task. It's like I'm sitting down with somebody who cares for me, who cares for my heart. Yeah. And I'm going to talk to him honestly and openly. And just the way that, you know, just the movements that I've seen in my life. And I'm like, he's alive.
That's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, recently just been very moved by like how he's just always gracious and merciful. So even when we feel like a failure, even when we repeated something that we said we wouldn't do again, even when we acted in a way we knew wasn't holy, like all these things, And he's not mad about it. Like, he's just, hey, come here, let me make you feel better and try again. I think, like, our kids, when they come to us with something, sometimes probably afraid to tell us some things. Exactly. We have a situation with our 4-year-old right now that we don't know what to do about, and he's sometimes afraid to come to us. And you don't want your kid to be afraid to come when they mess up. You want to be the person they run to when they mess up. So I think of, maybe we're not always so gracious in that, but God the Father is always gracious to us in that.
But I think there's also, with a situation, like, it's just, I don't know, it's maybe hard for love, as, like, I'm saying, as parents, finding a way to love somebody with correction as well. It's hard.
It is hard.
And I don't think
that's very hard.
And I think as you mature, so he's 4, and of course he's going to hide things from us. Yeah. And of course your children are going to hide things. But as we mature, we start realizing, like, they're not going to,
like, they're stable and they don't love me less.
Yeah. Their love is unconditional. Yeah. Like, his love is unconditional. So he just needs
to learn that he can count on that.
Yeah.
I think.
So I don't think we're doing bad as parents.
No, I'm just saying that is hard, though.
It is hard. And I think...
And I know sometimes I'm so annoyed when something happens over and over again. But I'm like, so maybe I'm not showing the love and the grace. And not just for his situation currently, but for all the situations.
Children, even, like, adults.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to love like God because he's perfect and we're imperfect. But he calls us even deeper than that. And it's the intimacy of a spouse. Your desires begin to start matching his desire. Your heart starts aligning with his heart. So this is where, like, your will starts becoming his will. Like you just run.
So then think, like, how powerful your prayers are whenever the will is aligned.
Yeah. So if we think of this as a relationship, so you're the only person that I went all the... Maybe that's not what I'm going to say. You're the only person I went to, like...
We said we weren't talking about that today. Okay. What were you going to say?
You're the only person that I've ever gone to a spousal relationship with.
I didn't know where it was going. Okay.
It's awkward.
Continue.
So, I'm saying, like, if we take this as how we've experienced each other, I just knew of you. Yeah. I saw you at your grandma's house. Playing some cards. We fooled each other. We did. We both thought we were outgoing. I thought she was super outgoing and cool and an extrovert and just making these jokes.
Wait,
and
you don't think I'm cool now?
We're cool in our own way, but in the way that I thought back then.
It's a different kind of cool.
And then you thought the same thing with me. You thought, wow, he's...
So I think if we've learned that we're both just good performers, so we can be outgoing when we need to be. We can turn it on, but then we're like...
So I just knew a surface level of you.
Yes.
And you had side sweep bangs. I did. And that shirt.
I should bring it back.
And
that shirt was my favorite shirt.
Mine too. And then let's just say she wasn't dressing appropriate. No, you were appropriate, but it was just not mother dressing now. Anyway, but then we started having conversations with each other late nights, 5 a.m. in the morning, having those, what do you want to do with your life? What do you think about having children? What do you think about marriage? What's your relationship with God? Like, we started knowing things about each other and finding out that we're both introverted and are unable to call to order food. Like, we realized
that's the biggest fight in our home. You order the pizza.
No, because everybody does apps now. And
we were so thankful for COVID when everyone made online ordering possible.
We weren't thankful for COVID. We were just thankful for the situation of everybody wasn't supposed to be face to face.
We didn't have to call as much now. So we're like, yeah, I'll order it because it's on an app now.
Yeah.
So that's a bonus.
We were in that friendship level. And then I can specifically remember going into more of a family situation where I was like, letting you into the messiness of my life.
Yeah.
Being like, this is the baggage that comes with Dwayne Abrams if you want to move forward.
Yeah.
And you did the same thing. Like, we had real deep conversations.
Right.
And I trusted you, or I still trust, but I trust you so much. And then we started knowing each other on how we would react to things and what we would like. I know that Stephanie would like to have like the dishes done at. So
yes,
she knows what my Blizzard order is. I know what her Blizzard order is. Stuff like that. Like, we were family. Yeah. And then we got married, and that took us to a spousal intimacy. Not bedroom intimacy is what we're talking about, but like in the spouse sense, I would say our desires started aligning. Our goals for our family and our hearts and what we wanted out of life, those started aligning. Exactly what I would want in a situation. I know exactly what you would want in this situation. That's how we would be with God. I know exactly what God would want done in this situation.
Yeah. Also, I think seeing each other like in our hardest moments or our lowest points and still offering love all the time. And that's a part of that deep intimacy.
Yeah. Just like letting it all out and pour and just being so vulnerable in situations.
Yeah.
Like living it out of a Psalm 63. It says, my soul clings to you. You just cling to God.
Yeah.
Because you have nothing else that would benefit
what
from
else is
So I think that's just like the intimacy that we would have with God.
Yeah.
Is how I would think.
Yeah.
As close as I can get to a personal, practical situation.
Even I think that obviously his desire was always for us to be so close. Like when you think of the garden, when he created the paradise, it was him walking with Adam and Eve, walking beside them. So he wants to be right beside you, walking with you.
Yeah. I have written down Hebrews 4:16, and it says, it reminds us to come boldly to the throne. Mm-hmm. It's the part that says come boldly to the throne. And intimacy is something God invites us to. It's not something that we have to earn.
Yeah.
So we go boldly to the throne.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the things that make people not want to go boldly to the throne that hinders intimacy with God? Ooh. I think we touched on one of it. Like with the whole kid thing is like shame.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. You're afraid to be honest and open and afraid to show maybe you didn't do something right again.
Because you might have a surface level idea of God as being this being who needs you to be perfect.
Yes.
Who's going to smite you as soon as you mess up.
Like the legalization.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like the relationship with God is following rule after rule, and then if you mess up on a rule, then you're not worthy.
You're like out of his
out
of his will.
Yeah.
You're not going to get an inheritance or something. But I think that's a big one is shame.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that is the enemy's tactic, is to shame people.
For sure.
And so he uses that to disconnect you from God and to go further with God. I would say like distractions.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like I wrote a list down of things that I was thinking of.
Did you?
Yeah.
Friday.
Hold on. Let me get there. Shame, distraction, legalism, like I said. Busyness. We talk about that all the time as parents. Super basketball started, so literally we have somewhere to be every night. It feels like every day, every night.
Hour will need to be picked up.
Yeah, but just, we get, and I'm really recently noticing, and I think I've talked about this before, but it's hitting me a lot harder, how much time is wasted on a phone, even just with being productive with anything, how much time I waste. Zoop, zoop, zoop.
So I'm just thinking like this morning, like I have been trying to do at least 15 minutes. It's not like it's timed or something, but I try to do worship time with God, where I'm like actually singing my lungs out, sorry neighbors, worship, like getting into his presence, inviting just that movement in my life starting in the morning. So I try to do that in the morning. And then I want to do a Bible reading. So I read a chapter right now in the mornings. It's Luke. So I try to read Luke chapter 2, just started. And then I want to do my prayer. But then I have we have to get the kids ready, and then I like my stomach is rumbling, so I'm like I have to get breakfast. My job's gonna start soon, so I have to make sure all this is done before my job. Like I'm trying to rush through stuff instead
Yes.
of having that
'Cause
intimate
time
time
is
with
limited.
God.
Yes.
And so this morning, like I was starting to get into, oh, you know what? I don't know if it's an ADHD brain or something, but I was like, oh, you have this to do. Oh, let's go over here and do this. I'm like,
Yes.
what are you doing?
I'm the same.
You're supposed to be. So then I would get into my worship, and as I'm getting into the worship thing, I'm thinking of all these. I'm like, oh, that would be a good worship song, or oh, that would be nice for church, or and it's not like bad things, but they're distracting me from actually focusing on what I want to
Yes.
be with. I want to be with God. I don't want to be over here thinking of things that I can do for God.
Yes.
It's just like distractions, and you
Sure.
just have to reel yourself back in. And I was like, God, I'm sorry for allowing
Yeah.
these things to
Yeah.
pull my focus. Please, dear God, just be in this moment with me. And like first song, wasn't really feeling anything. It was a great song. It was Goodness of God by CC Winans, gets me every time. And I was like, okay. But by the end of it, ooh, it was there. Like it wasn't that I just felt God, but like you just know.
You know when you've been in his presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was in his presence, and then that led me into my Bible reading. Bible reading went great. It was like
Great.
it was amazing. It was Christmas themed.
Oh, so nice.
The birth of
Brought
Jesus.
the reindeer. Yeah.
So it was the birth of Jesus, and that's all. That's always gets you excited, and
Yeah.
some new revelations through there. And so it was just like it was so much stuff trying to distract me from actually focusing on God, and it was like
Yes.
things that I needed to get done.
Right.
But before I try to tackle the tasks in my life, I need to go to God.
Yeah.
Because everything else today went so much more smoother than if I would
Yeah.
not.
Because sometimes it's reverse when I'm like, I feel like there's so many things in my mind that if I can get all these things done, then I'll come to God. But then, of course, it's 11 at night and then I
Yeah.
don't get the God time in.
So I do a Bible reading at night now too. And it's like by the time I get to 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm an early bed person. I want to go to sleep. And I'm like, I have all these things. And then I try to rush through it. And I noticed that last night. I was like, I'm trying to rush. It was John
We
chapter
read it together last night.
John chapter 21. Yeah, but at first I was just like reading, and I was like, okay, da, da, da. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just take the time and have Steph sit down with me and read it. And so we read it together, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I just stopped at John 20, but I keep forgetting about everything that happens in 21. And I think it's just because the fishing story happens twice. So you're like,
Yeah. So you're mixing it.
yeah, I mix a lot of Bible stories.
But even
up.
like when I'm working a school, we get 30 minutes for lunch maybe. And I'm like, instead of putting on Hulu, like, why don't I have so many like devotional books that are so good. I have so many, but it takes me forever to get through them because I have so many. But I'm like, why don't I take one of those to work? And on my lunch, I'm doing this book instead.
You don't want one for Christmas?
No, I'll take more always. Can you ever have enough?
I know a lot of things for you.
Finding some that like even I started 3 years ago and now I'm like, oh, I never finished this and this was really good. So I took one of them to work and I'm like, this is a way better way to spend 30 minutes than watching the Kardashians.
Ooh, she let her dirty little secret out.
It's not a secret, but
It's just like
is it dirty? Probably.
It's really not a.
It's when it's a car wreck and you have to look at it. Yeah, yeah.
But I think a lot of Christians struggle with that.
Sure.
With the busyness of life,
And our brains, I think, now are just so scattered because we have such short attention spans. Look at us. Next video, next video, next video. Our brain is like dee 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 dee.
I feel bad for our kids because that generation they can't even watch like a 30-minute episode of anything.
This is all they know.
Look at all the shows that come out. They're like 7 minutes.
Because that's all.
That's all we get. Like that's the attention span. So unfortunately, it's even adults.
It continues into adulthood. Yeah, so it's really hard. It's really hard.
Think about us when we like have to sit down for a 2-hour movie.
It's hard.
All the things that we could have done, and
that's why I don't like going to a movie on a date because it takes too much time.
Just get rid of that.
Just if its time is so limited to me always.
I know.
So I hate to waste time when you can't even talk.
Yeah.
I love movies, but.
So another thing that I have written down is sin. Now, I say sin and shame are opposite. Like, shame is, I think, a residual of something that you probably have been forgiven of, and you still feel the effects of shame. Like you still feel sin is you're actively in it, and you don't want to let it go.
Yes.
This is something that you're not giving to God. And of course, that's going to stop your intimacy. Is there anything in your life that you're like, this is stopping me from? You don't have to get like real personal.
I know, like you're asking me those hard questions today. Hold on.
I asked if you wanted to lead.
I have to think about it. I'm sure there are things.
Yeah, so I would say comparison.
Yeah.
For me, like that would lead to jealousy.
Yes.
And then I noticed that would lead to me like being self-deprecating and having lack of security, like being super insecure.
Yeah.
Which would stop me from going into the callings or the things that God wanted me to do, because I felt like this person's better.
Yes.
Got a little envy and jealousy in there, got a little angry, and then you just shut down and you want to go away from God.
Yeah. So mine, part of that. And then also I was just such an insecure person. Mm-hmm. So anything that happened with anybody, I'd be like, oh, I wasn't included. I wasn't invited. I was left out intentionally. No one actually cares about me. Mm-hmm. And then you go in this spiral. And then you start seeing that, even though that's not reality.
And you can even see that how that messes up even like relationships that aren't with God. Yeah, absolutely. Like you and I with our relationship, I'd be like, I literally want to know what you are thinking. Like you have to be mad in this situation. And I won't tell you
because
you wouldn't tell.
Yeah.
And like the one day I was like, hey, I want to know. And you're like, in past relationships, nobody ever wanted to know. You're like, so I just shut down and I don't move on.
And I think I always
and you wouldn't stick up for yourself. And I would be so mad. I was like, I was a jerk. Stick up for yourself.
Then just stop being a jerk.
I'm human.
But I also had to trust that if I did not make it easy for you, you weren't going to leave.
Yeah.
Was my always issue. I always had to make myself small to be pleasing, to be wanted.
So that's what we both have done. And I think that is how we project onto God.
Sure.
We project all of these things onto God. So we're like, I need him to be pleased. I need this to happen.
Because absolutely I would distance myself from God.
Of course not going to bring this thing that would be a sin to him and give it to him because he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
But he wants it. He wants to take it off of your lap. He wants to throw it down to hell. And he wants to move on.
And the enemy's tactic has always been to isolate you.
To separate us from him.
To distance you. And it's so easy to fall into that. Oh.
You said in the beginning it was the garden. What was the thing? It was to get us out of the garden. It was to separate us from God.
Absolutely.
And it's been the tactic for so long. Yeah, and I think it's crazy that people don't see that, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
I think they...
And it took me, what am I, 35?
Oh, yeah.
I just, in the last 2 years, like finally kicked that out the door. And still...
It's not even...
deal with it sometimes, but...
Because it's...
Again, it had a grip.
You might not have these huge, like, blatant sinful things, but then you're like, wait, God's letting me know that this is, like, coming between us. Mm-hmm. And what am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
So I think that this conversation is leading us into the practical steps that I wanted to go over, because I like to give people some idea
what to do.
Yeah. So first, with the busyness and things, I think it's just like finding the time.
Making the time.
We see many times that Jesus withdrew to pray. It wasn't a rush.
And it was daily.
It wasn't a rush.
And
he was like in the middle of crowds. He was in the middle of feeding 5,000 people. He was getting ready to die, and he had 12. Like he had so many things to distract him. But he would just be like, "Wait,
this is more important."
He's like, "I'm gonna go and talk to my Father." Yep. So we have to make sure we make the time for God.
Yeah.
And not a rush time. Not like I said 15 minutes of worship, whatever. But I can't just, if he's in the moment and he's moving, I can't just move from there.
Stay there.
He came.
Yeah.
He
came to meet with you. Yeah.
So I can't be like, hey, cool, your 5 minutes is up, I'm going to go. I think also being honest with your prayer. In Psalm 62:8, it says, pour out your heart before him. So we're going to pour it out. Yeah. We want to make sure that we're completely honest.
Because he knows anyway, so what's the point of hiding?
And you know what I found recently that's been easy. Like I don't do it when people are around because it would be weird. But praying out loud.
Yeah.
So then, because when you're praying out loud, I don't think when I speak clearly, but I don't think that much when I speak. So like, it's not being filtered through my thoughts in my mind. Like I'm just like letting it out. And oh my gosh, recently my prayer was super awkwardly honest. Like super weird. It's awkward. I don't want to talk about it. But it was just like,
tell me later.
It's just stuff that you're going through and you're just like, listen, this is what I'm struggling with right now, God. Like, I am struggling with maybe I don't think that you're going to show up this time, or I am afraid, or something like that. Like, you're being super honest with the situation that you're in. You're not trying to hide it. You're not trying to say, you're not trying to sugarcoat it. You're not trying to make it a Christian, nice themed package for him. Like, you're given the dirtiness of it all, and you're revealing things in your heart.
Right.
He can't heal what you don't reveal. Ooh, right.
Oh.
Whoa.
You didn't even have that written down. You just came up with that. Whoa.
I was just like, on a roll. We're gonna start rapping.
It's gonna be a t-shirt.
These guys make a t-shirt. No, but like seriously, if you're not going to let the light shine in the darkness, then it's not going to be lit up. You're not going to go any further.
Right.
So I just know, like, recently I was just like, hey, here I am again, struggling with this. I'm getting very frustrated at the situation, not with God, but like that myself too. Like I'm just super frustrated with it. And it was just like a gentle reminder. The thoughts went away, the feelings went away, and I had peace.
Yeah.
And like before, I wouldn't have had that. I would have been in a destructive behavior of just sabotaging my life and my relationship with God and keeping things to myself. And I probably would have prayed something, but it would have been more of like a, hey, this is something. It's not that important. But no, being like, hey, it's really affecting me right now. You need to like step in. Like I literally said, God, this is your issue. Like I've given it to you. I need you to move with it. I need you to come in. I surrender it. Come in and take this from me. Like you told me that you had this and I'm standing on that.
Yeah.
Where before I may have not been that bold. I don't think it was disrespectful bold, do you? I don't want him to be mad.
No, I think it's okay to walk in
just
the trust and knowledge of that, to be like, I gave it to you. That's what you,
and like
you carry those things,
and you like
and I
remind
know you're there.
of the truth.
Yeah.
When you speak out loud.
I know you have me. I know I'm safe. I know it's going to be okay.
Because if I pray in my mind, then there's other thoughts that could be running through. Sure. Oh, I don't. Is that what he actually said? Are you sure? And then I'm in that conversation. So speaking it out loud, pray out loud if you have to.
Yeah.
I think of that scene in the prayer room. Oh,
I can't remember.
I think it's Priscilla Schreier's in like the kitchen or something, and she's given it on a prayer. She's like praying against the devil, and she's like super angry. But like when you start, you get that. I don't know if that made any sense at all, but here we go. I think that would lead into obedience.
That's what I was going to say next.
Practical steps are like finding time, honest prayer, and obedience.
Yeah.
In John 14:21, it says, whoever keeps my commands, I will love him and reveal myself to him. So it literally says keeping his commands, being obedient.
Yeah. And think like when you look back to the times that you stepped out in obedience and like afterwards, how good that felt and how near God felt because you were willing to trust and obey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not, obedience isn't just, it's not a bunch of rules. It's like being so in love with this person that you trust them and you're going to do what they say.
Yeah.
Taking it back to us, if I asked you to do something and you didn't do it, I would think you wouldn't trust me on it. and then I probably won't ask you to do something again.
Yes. But God show up.
But then
time after time.
Yeah. But then if you were to do the things that I ask you to do, then I trust you with more. Right. I show up more.
Yes. Yep.
I was thinking of dishes, but I don't want to go there.
You have been doing them like midday now, which is nice. So when I get home, all the breakfast dishes are done.
I just wish we could trust the kids to put them away.
Yeah.
Gonna work on that obedience.
We'll get there.
But yeah, I think just like doing the small obediences, finding that you are just doing God's will out of just sheer love. Have there been things that you've done that you're like, ooh, I don't want to, and then like you just walk through it and you feel such relief at the end. Yeah.
And it blesses you and it blesses others, and it's always fruitful. So you're like, why did I put up a fight? But because it's uncomfortable, a lot of the things stretch you and push you and
I think of
cause you to rely on him more.
Like being obedient, not going and being convicted and changing your ways and moving from what's keeping you from him, but also going up and praying for somebody or speaking a word or doing acts of kindness and service for others. I was thinking Sunday, I was feeling this like word. It was like stirring in my heart, and I was like, and it came up through my throat, and I was like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to say this. Somebody else is gonna say it. I was like, this isn't actually, deal with it again. This isn't actually from you. And then Chris mentioned one little line, and it was something about running, and I was like, yep, this is what you want me to say. So I was just like, well, let's go.
Darn.
And then like during the time of speaking, it's just energizing and so emotional. And then afterward, you're like, you get this sigh of relief, but you feel closer. You like, it's like a high five or a pat on the back from God, and you're like, thank you.
Good job, kiddo.
I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went there.
Yeah.
So another practical step would be getting into your scripture.
Of course, always.
And don't just read the Bible, but meet God in the Bible. Look for him in the Bible. Have a conversation with him in scripture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be like, God, who are you in this? What are you doing? How do I see your character? And then if it hits you, and then pray about it. In John chapter 21, it talks about, so we know that Peter denied Christ 3 times. And in John 21, Jesus comes and he brings back Peter 3 times. He restores him. Mm-hmm. And I felt stirred with that. And there was some things that I had to get off my chest, and I got off my chest and I said, please restore me like you did Peter. Like, I am restored. I can be the rock. And so I just applied what I read to my actual life and my prayer communication with God. Just get into scripture, not just for your mind, but for your heart.
Yeah.
And then we always love to talk about community.
Always. I have a scripture in Hebrews 10, verse 24 and 25. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works, and let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near.
Yeah.
So you gotta be there for your people.
Yeah. Your intimacy
motivate, encourage.
Yeah. Your intimacy with God grows in the company of people who are pursuing him.
Nice.
I did have that written down.
Yeah, that was nice.
But it's true. If other people are pursuing him and they're on this journey,
absolutely, then
I will also pursue him.
Yeah.
And my intimacy will grow.
Yeah.
You have people there who will pray for you. You have people there who will talk to you. You have a family.
Yeah.
And it's just encouraging. Like, you love to see movement in people and God moving and transforming in people's lives. And just seeing that, just having that community. So I think that's where we're going to end it.
Yeah.
As always, we love for you to be in our community. We love to have you guys come to Life Church Evansburg if you're in the area. We have church on Sundays in Evansburg at 9:30 is a nice cafe time, but church starts at 10 a.m. So come on by, listen, feel God move, and be transformed.
Yep.
We will talk to you on Wednesday. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, guys.